It's official, folks. It's locked in. The Toronto Raptors now will guaranteed have the 6th best odds in the upcoming NBA draft lottery. So we're going to break down what that means for this team, as this is what the tank was for. This is what people were pushing for at this point, because again, the team wants to keep their draft pick for this upcoming NBA draft. And the only way they keep it is if it falls into the bottom 6. So we'll break down what all of this means, including the Raptors game last night, because RJ Barrett, only a couple games left, this one and the next, in the NBA season, but RJ Barrett continues to show why he is a breaking out star for the Toronto Raptors. So lots of stuff to sink our teeth into, but before we do, folks, again, over 51% of our viewers are not subscribed to the channel. We want to keep you up to date with all the latest Toronto Raptors news, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you're interested in seeing how this team performs, and we got a lot of fun stuff coming in the off season. But let's dive in the first topic, because I want to start off, this is, I guess, overall a fully positive video, but RJ Barrett's becoming a star for the Toronto Raptors. There's no real debating here now at this point. I know he was the piece in the OG Anunoby trade that was the negative asset, that was the liability coming in for the Toronto Raptors, given his contract, and given, even though he's been good for the New York Knicks, or he was good, he never reached that superstar sort of potential or anything like that. So, hasn't been an all-star yet in his NBA career. But when he came over to the Toronto Raptors, people were still hyped up, being a hometown hero and all that. But this season, man, RJ Barrett, I can count on my hand. He's had 2 games. 2 games this season where he's been a bit underwhelming. Again, he missed a chunk of the second half of the year due to the passing of his brother, which obviously is completely reasonable and stuff like that. But in the sample size we got of RJ Barrett, he was absolutely phenomenal. We still have one more game, but last night again against the Miami Heat, he was just a beast for this team. 13 of 18 shooting, so remarkably efficient. 35 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. His three-point shooting, is not something that is, the bread and butter of his game, but he's been fairly consistent for this team since he's been traded to the Toronto Raptors. The confusing part about his game is generally he's been a free throw shooter, a solid free throw shooter over the course of his NBA career, but that's cooled off since he's joined the Raptors. But last night, hit 8 of 10 from the free throw line, which is good to see. But, man, this body control, there's a lot of players in the NBA, there's a lot of basketball players in general that have strength. They have that raw, they're going to the gym, they're doing their stuff, right? And they're able to get into the lane and just power through people, right? Finish at the bucket, or at least get to the bucket, right? Get inside that paint, and it's tough for people to really body them up. However, especially at the NBA level, if you're doing that, you're going up against other strong players, other strong people in that paint. So it's hard to also finish. It's hard to stay control of yourself, as you're going up to the basket. RJ Barrett, again, he's strong for a wing player. Maybe not the strongest guy in the NBA, but definitely strong, at that sort of shooting guard position. But his body control, the way he can just plow his way, get to whatever spot he wants, and then whether he's off balance, whether he's taking contact, whether he's getting knocked by the big man in the paint, RJ Barrett just finds a way to get to the shot, and that's why he's getting foul calls. That's why he's getting to the line, because he goes in with such control, with such poise, and then when he gets that knock, he takes that contact, and he's able to finish through it. He's able to take a good shot without fading away and being afraid of the basket, and that skill in modern NBA is just such an asset, and it's something we've seen him develop over the course of his career. So the fact that he's doing it at this level, again, last night against the Miami Heat, he's just like Bam Adebayo. I don't want to say he's bouncing off him, but makes it look like he's bouncing off him, because RJ just doesn't get phased by the knocks he's taking in the paint. I mean, that skill alone can get you 20 points a night at the NBA level. And then his improved jump shooting, again, the free throw shooting, hopefully will come back into its own for next season, go back to the average of his career. Hopefully he'll get better. But that, he seems to be bringing on the defensive end. We have a rising star in RJ Barrett. And the last stretch of games, and it sucks that he missed a large chunk of it, but really to showcase, to really get these guys comfortable and excited coming into next year, getting some reps out to close out the season. And RJ Barrett's really coming into his own, is probably secondary, dare I say, first option for this team, come into next season. But I'm sure a lot of that will be discussed over the offseason. But more takeaways from this game. Again, the Raptors kind of got smoked. Grady Dick hit a couple threes. It's good to see. Gary Trent Jr., 7 points. Kelly Olynyk, 8 points. He had a cool sort of take a drive in last night's game, which was exciting to see. But 11 rebounds, 6 assists, filling up the stat sheet. I'm excited to see Kelly Olynyk in more of a role player role for this team. It's more of a complementary piece for this Raptors group going forward. But again, he stepped up as the starting center. This team would be abysmal without Kelly Olynyk running the five for us this season. I mean, IQ didn't have one of his better games, 15 points, but 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Hit a few threes, is what it is. Off the bench, Bruce Brown, 14 points. Had a couple just back-to-back threes, splashing them, looking like Kyle Korver there for a 2 stretch possession. I'm like, okay, we get a few more of those. It's going to be a tradable contract, in the off season, but obviously it's we'll see. Bruce Brown is someone that's frustrating. People that watch these vids have known that, but Abaji came off the bench in today's game and had 7 points. Again, brings it on the defensive end, which we'd love to see, but last night really struggled. I mean, on the other end, the Miami Heat didn't have anyone really have to go nuclear to me, but they're just kind of just chilling for most of this night, this action. But Jaime Haka is off the bench, 20 points is what it is with Abaji there. But Malik Williams, 19 minutes of action, 0 points. Again, I appreciate him coming in on a short notice and stepping in, filling in for the Toronto Raptors closeout this year. I don't see a huge potential future here with the Raptors. Jordan Nwora never got much run in last night's game, which is surprising. But JFL 1 of 5 from the field. Has had some good games lately, but last night didn't really stand out by any means. Missed a couple open corner threes, which were, I don't want to say demoralizing, but you're getting some open shots in the corner, especially when you're a shooter. It sucks to see him miss those. But the Raptors, again, RJ Barrett's the real positive in this game. The rest of the guys, bit of a May performance for the Raptors group. But the real big storyline in last night's sort of game is the Raptors are now locked in. It's official, folks. It's officially sort of gone down. The Raptors tank. It has concluded. Or maybe they'll lose the final game, but it wouldn't make sense to sort of, again, all Raptors fans are going to be rooting for the team to win, at least have a good performance in the last game, because basically the Raptors are locked into those 6th odds. So what's going on here? What's happening? Basically, the Memphis Grizzlies can't catch the Toronto Raptors here now at this point, despite the fact they benched about 12 players in yesterday's game against the Toronto Raptors, or against the LA Lakers. But basically, if everything sort of stacks up, if we don't get overtaken in the draft lottery, and right now, as we're currently positioned, we have a 37% chance to remain in the top 4, to get into the top 4, which is not horrible odds, but definitely not a guarantee, a lock, or anything like that. But it's about roughly 45% we stay in that 6th position, 6 that are better. And that's a bit, I don't want to say risky concerning, because it's more likely we lose our pick than it isn't, but definitely a lot more likely we keep it than it was about a month ago for this team. But the Raptors, assuming we end up keeping that draft pick, could have picks 6, 17, and 31. And then the Pacers are also in an interesting spot right now. They could fall to the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference, or at least the 7th. They can fall into the play-in tournament. If they get knocked out in the play-in, then the Raptors that Pacers pick that is currently touted to be 17th could end up being a lottery pick. So again, no matter how much I love Pascal Siakam, I love the Canadians over there on the Indiana Pacers, I'm rooting for that team to lose and get knocked out. That's just kind of what I'm rooting for here now at this point. But the NBA Draft Lottery is on Sunday, May 12th, so we'll be going live for that. It's what this season has been culminating to. It's what the pinpoint, what we're all searching for, the mountain peak that is going to be the most exciting moment for the second half of this Raptors year. But folks, you guys are the best to make it this far. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Let's pray for some of that lottery luck. Let's try to bring in one of those top picks. That's what we're going to be sort of hoping for, putting out there in the ether, into the void, to hopefully it makes it happen. But you guys are the best. I'm signing out. Cheers.